He was a crack addict, he was a crack addict, a crack daddy, and a crackhead.
In this world, accessible of kindness and ethical blindness. So please excuse my sarcastic tone. I'm a bit underwhelmed by the sample shown. Mr. Bistro fraternity guy, you got my asshole, bloodshot eyes. Get drunk and fight every night. Idolize Bradley, belittle women's rights. Homophobic, racist, and don't give a fucking hey. Do you think you can drive a bigger truck? So wear your baseball cap to the side to let everyone know that you're a nice guy. So cool, was so impressed. Lots of chicks and a barrel chest. Cause you're a real man. Punch for punch, gonna piss in your face while you're passed out drunk. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. She's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planets. Oh, I just can't understand it. Fuck defined by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. I don't wanna hear it. Read into the lyrics, cause everybody gets their just desserts. As long as you remember that nice guys finished Mr. Whitebeard, you're next on the list. Such a nice guy who speaks through his fists. Prick with a penchant for messing with heads. A broken nose for dinner and breakfast in bed. Alcoholic, paranoid, and suicidal too. But you'll probably kill her before she gets away from you. She's losing her blood, letting cry. All your friends say that you're a nice guy. Have a drink, this one's on me. Look, you're doing fine, losing to your disease. Comatose, I'll pack your bags. Bury you like a tree that guy. Oh, I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. We're all nice guys, but all of you are assholes. He's a nice guy, she's a nice guy. Hey, Combo's a nice guy. All of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planet. The public commented. Put a body by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off. I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off. Read into the lyrics. So let the fucking pill quench your thirst. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Plex. We do the show live every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific, although tonight we're starting at 9. The format will be a little bit different. It'll be more like the post-game. So right now, immediately, I will thank Justin Freakin for the raid. Thanks for sending 17 goats over here. If you're listening on the podcast and you don't know what that is, I don't know, I guess you're going to have to tune in live sometime. Anyway, you can support this project at echoplexmedia.com. Click the support link and pick your favorite. I personally like the merch, but you can give us money however you want around here. I'm producer Dave, Homo Alono. You can find me on Grindr, and this is what the people want.
I don't hate the cops. And there's a person inside when the truncheon stops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Oh, when the raiders come, who will protect the shops? Don't hate the cops. They're a sensitive bunch if you don't stop throwing your rocks. Snap, crackle, pop is the sound of a taser. Your body drops, donate the cops. Donate the cops, donate the cops. Donate the cops. Thank your local police, 'cause they don't do nothing wrong. Thank your local police. Got rid of the corruption and the racism is gone. They've been keeping the peace, keeping homeless folks out of the parks and malls. Got a cure for your social disease. Follow the law, don't hate the cops. 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 Put your hands above your head and show you're not afraid. I'm the village judge that your skin color's gonna get. And if you die before the sun comes up, the paperwork will take forever. Well, it might have worked out a little bit better. If you didn't hate the cops, 'cause they don't do nothing wrong, donate the cops. You can't blame them for just doing their job, donate the cops. Well, you gotta wonder, how much would it cost for you to be shot at and stabbed at by maniacs and drunks? Donate the cops, donate the cops. Donate the cops, donate the cops. Donate the cops. Donate the cops, donate the cops. Donate the cops, donate the cops.
So there was a presidential debate this week, and people had some predictions. We played some predictions for it from last week, and I have some more from this week. People have some predictions.
So we anticipate that for this first debate, he will be on something. And the response of the press has been to cover it up. And so we've seen that with Kareem.
Wait, we suspect this is going to happen, and the press is covering it up. Are they covering up that you suspect that something is going to happen?
On here saying these are deep fakes. This is, misinformation. The videos we have seen of President Biden's cognitive decline are not false. They are not, manufactured. They are not deep fakes. The president has significant cognitive decline, as we've all seen. And
so they were going to hop him up on something. What do you suppose they were going to hop him up on? Somebody has a prediction. I don't even know who this guy is. He's on the Maria Bartiromo show. And this is Representative Eric Burlinson, and he has a prediction, actually. A rather funny one, if you take a look here. Also, this is from the X website, or Twitter, or whatever. So, it's going to play. It's fantastic. How nice of you.
That Ronnie Jackson says Biden will have been at Camp David for a full week before the debate, and that they're probably experimenting with getting doses right, giving him medicine ahead of the debate. Is that what you think?
Yeah, I think that, any patient that truly, or, elderly individual or someone that has dementia, they can find some moments of clarity, right? They can find moments throughout the day that they have energy. And I think that Trump's team should not underestimate Joe Biden and his team's ability to whether they're going to jack him up on Mountain Dew or whatever it is.
Shit. Fucking extreme.
The State of the Union this year, he had a lot of energy for about an hour, or an hour and a half.
The fucking Mountain Dew. Fucking Baja Blast. That's what I think. I think they're going to jack him up on Baja Blast. That's how my mom is so spry. She really likes the Baja Blast. We got another one. This one's real weird. This guy, we usually put this guy toward the end of the docket. This guy is Hank Kunneman. He's one of those kind of fucking prophet, like fake prophet guys. He's got an interesting prediction here. This did not come to pass. I would have liked it though. This would have been cool if this would have come to pass.
I think President Trump, you always make it about, what's, this fake Biden, what's he going to be like when he shows up, if he shows up. I think it's going to be more about what are the moderators going to do, how they're going to try to set President Trump up, limit what he says, mute his microphone, and really make it difficult for him. I think that's going to be the real thing that's going to happen in the debate. And I said something last night on Flashpoint that, the secular media is talking about. Wouldn't it be great? I'm going to say it for the audience that maybe didn't see it last night. Wouldn't it be great if President Trump would go and reach out to this Biden guy and move forward and give him a hug, and at the same time his hand slips and we see who's under that mask? Wouldn't that be great?
He's going to pull the mask off of fucking Lizard Joe, everybody. Going to pull the mask off. Oh, that's fantastic. I like that. Up next, we have a Trump surrogate kicked off of a CNN interview when she was saying some weird shit about the debate.
Themselves as professionals, as they have covered campaigns and interviewed candidates from all sides of the aisle. I'll also say that if you talk to analysts of debates previous, that if you're attacking the moderators, you're usually losing. So I really want to focus in on what these two men are going to do and say when they stand on the stage. Now, we have a little bit of what Donald Trump, your boss, has said in trying to set expectations for this debate. I want to play a series of his comments, and then we'll talk about it. Watch.
Well, maybe I'm better off losing the debate. I'll make sure he says I'll lose the debate on purpose. Maybe I'll do something like that.
I assume he's going to be somebody that will be a worthy debater. Should I be tough and nasty and just say you're the worst president in history? Or should I be nice and calm and let him speak?
So he's basically saying there, well, will I let Joe Biden win? It does seem as though many Republicans have set the bar very low in terms of arguing that Joe Biden is basically senile. Now you have people like Doug Burgum coming out and saying, well, President Biden's very accomplished, trying to set expectations in a different place. What do you expect from Joe Biden?
Well, first of all, it takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently,
we're going to stop this interview if you're going to keep
President
attacking
Trump
my colleagues.
Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome to come back and speak about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will have equal time to Joe Biden when they both join us now at later this week in Atlanta for this debate. Our thanks to Caroline. John.
Kick her off. Fuck that lady. But I don't like the idea of like, oh, you're attacking my colleagues. It would have just been better to be like, hey, the debate hasn't even happened yet. We're going to talk about this actually. But I mean, whatever. She was like not having it. And I think that's probably good. I think if more people do that, just like more broadly, like not all the time, like not like it's something, oh, I'm coming into this looking to do that, but being willing to do that, right? Being willing to cut and run, being willing to walk away was pretty important. Up next, that same person who got kicked off of the CNN show for being horrible went to Steve Bannon afterward.
But I want to get to the heart of it, is that how are we possibly having a debate with a network that's it's so biased that they show absolutely no respect to the president's national press secretary? When you were bringing up what we refer to as news items, it is a news story and a news item that Jake Tapper hates President Trump and has a history of it on social media. Same with Dana Bash. How can they not address that? And why are we in Atlanta, ma'am, with CNN, who controls the microphone on Thursday? Caroline Levitt.
Steve, it's great to see you. And we're in Atlanta on Thursday because President Trump delivers on his promises. And he said repeatedly, came from him, he will debate Joe Biden anytime, anywhere, any place. And so here we are. We're headed to Atlanta Thursday night. But CNN showed their hand with me on their network this morning. The fact that they cut off my microphone simply for repeating words that Jake Tapper himself has said, lies about President Trump. So Jake Tapper can go on the air and spew those lies all they want. But when I simply try to repeat them, which is relevant because he's a moderator at Thursday's debate, they cut me off and kicked me off. It was honestly shocking.
That was great.
What occurred this morning.
Do more of that.
Shows that this is not going to be a fair debate on Thursday. And President Trump knows that, Steve. He knows that. He knows he's going into a lion's den. It's going to be a 3-on-1 fight with Crooked Joe, who's been getting doped up and hiding away in the woods at Camp David all week, and Dana Bash and Jake Tapper. But it just speaks to President Trump's determination and resolve. This was his decision. He's determined to go for it and bring his winning message to voters across this country, and God bless him for doing it.
Okay, I want to get to the facts of Tapper and Dana Bash, but I would never correct Caroline Leavitt, and I certainly would never.
Wait, why would you never do that? What if she was wrong?
Secretary of President Trump, but they didn't cut off your mic
because you're an ass kisser.
They dumped you and went to another break. I've never seen such disrespect. They have never in the history of television ever taken a national press secretary and treated her with such lack of respect. Cassie Hunt owes you an apology. CNN owes you an apology.
Oh, no.
And we don't get that apology to Caroline Leavitt. And
then what? Then what, Steve?
To the Trump campaign and to MAGA today, President Trump should cancel this. It's not 3-on-1. They have the entire news apparatus because she had a producer. You know, Caroline, you've done so much TV. She had a producer in her ear saying, cut her off, yeah. Because you had the facts. Tell me.
She had the facts? No, she wasn't answering the questions. You're there at the pleasure of the people that invited you. Anyway, that was all before the debate. Then the debate happened. If you could imagine, I'm not going to play any fucking clips of the debate. I figure other commentators have done commentary about the debate. I figure they've done plenty of it. CNN's post-debate coverage, though, that's our lane, and it was what it was.
It started with the first couple of answers, and it has continued throughout the night from oh my God, to what do we do about this? And it involves very senior people in the Democratic Party, including elected officials, saying we have a problem.
And just to co-sign what John is saying, I mean, the panic that I am hearing from...
Damn, how many people you need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You need 9 people to talk about this?
Not like anything that I have heard in this campaign so far. And a lot of it has to do with, first of all, there was a deep frustration about Trump's lies. I mean, he lied a lot tonight. But the problem for Biden was that Trump was able to take sometimes incredible falsehoods and turn them into some kind of argument, whereas Biden's answers were, in a lot of cases, not coherent, deeply problematic, that he was not able to take pretty straightforward answers and answer them to the...
Well, that's great. In case anybody was unaware, this is a live show. Anyway, that clip is maybe broken. Anyway, that's fine. We got another one. We got another clip of CNN's post-debate, I guess, coverage. Maybe this one will play all the way through. Who knows? Anything's possible.
This was a game-changing debate in the sense that right now, as we speak, there is a deep, a wide, and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party. It started minutes into the debate, and it continues right now. It involves party strategists, it involves elected officials, it involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party in the ticket, and they're having conversations about what they should do about it. Some of those conversations include, should we go to the White House and ask the president to step aside? Other of the conversations are about, should prominent Democrats go public with that call? Because they feel this debate was so terrible. They do say, in moments in the debate later, the president got better and got his footing, but then at the end, even his closing statement was a little halting. The contrast between the two...
I think these people are fucking making shit up. Maybe not making shit up. I think they're exaggerating because they wanted to have something to talk about. I doubt that they were in touch with a large number of high-ranking Democrats, like, about this issue. I just think that that would be dumb to be talking to the press when you're not sure what, if even the narrative they're spinning is true, you wouldn't be telling the press about it right away. Anyway, did you know that if they picked a different candidate at the convention, that would actually be cheating? Here's an ex-Trump aide, Brian Lanza, saying, "Well, if they pick somebody else, it's cheating." So no matter what the Democrats decide to do, it's bad, right? All answers are bad.
On conspiracy theories, why does he keep doing that?
Listen, I wouldn't say Joe Biden let Donald Trump off the hook at all last night. I think what we saw last night was the mental deterioration of Joe Biden. And we can talk about, Donald Trump said this, we can talk about, Joe Biden's lie here, but what the American public saw was a president who just doesn't have the cognitive fitness to be president. And we'll have a conversation in next month, whether the 25th Amendment is exercised, whether the Democratic Party tries to find a new candidate. I think Joe Biden should be on the ballot through November. I don't think they should be allowed to switch candidates at this point.
Why? They haven't even had but that's not your decision. They haven't had the convention yet. That's actually not your decision. That convention has not happened yet. That's when the party officially picks its candidate. So they could do anything. They could nominate me.
We're running. We spent resources. It feels cheating to try to change it at this point.
Well, you don't want that to happen because you want your candidate to win, obviously. But I
want the American public to be in a better position tomorrow than they are today.
Let me ask you, why does Trump keep saying that Democrats want to execute babies after birth?
Yeah, I think
that's a lie.
Sure,
it's not true.
I think what you have to do is you have to sort of have the conversation with the campaign to see where they lie. I think the most important thing that I walked away from the abortion conversation last night was that President Trump was proud of nominating Supreme Court justices who did overturn Roe v. Wade and returned it to the states, which is where the American public has wanted it for a significant amount of time. Now, sure, CNN can sort of cover, an MSNBC and outlets can try to sort of focus on the lies.
Don't talk about the press. Come on. He's lying over and over again. No, Brian, he said that January 6th defendants are, quote, so innocent.
Correct.
These are people
So no matter what, I see some of the stuff in the chat. Oh, well, if he is senile, then shouldn't they? Yeah, but they're going to call that cheating, right? Like no matter what, they're going to be cheating, right? That's the thing is right now they're already saying that the whole thing's cheating. No matter what happened, it's all cheating. Because if they win, they can say, well, they tried to cheat and we, against all odds, won. And if they lose, they can say, well, they cheated. That's how this is going. No matter what. Unless they nominate me, I could bring the country together. Up next, Trump's conviction actually is going to be overturned.
Detroit, whether it was the South Bronx, whether it was Philadelphia. I've seen him make this case to the American people time and time again. Of course, he talks about what happens in Lower Manhattan, because at the end of the day, his constitutional rights were violated in that courtroom in Manhattan. And every legal commentator, virtually every legal scholar, all agree that case is going to...
Oh, this is funny. All the legal scholars agree. The woman he's talking to is, I believe, a former district attorney or a former assistant attorney general or something. I think he's talking to somebody who has some knowledge about the subject matter.
Overturned at the appellate level because he didn't even know what he was defending himself against. The Supreme Court just came out the other day and said that if you're going to try to convict somebody, that the jury has to be consistent about the actual crime. That did not occur in Lower Manhattan. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump, of course, he talks about it, but the overwhelming message is about what his administration, when he comes back as the 47th president, is going to mean for the American people. And I guarantee you this, it will be significantly better for all Americans than the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris administration.
Just for the edification of the audience, you're talking about the nuance of the New York jury instruction where they did not have to agree on the underlying predicate crime that would elevate it from a misdemeanor to a felony, but they had to be unanimous in their overall decision. I'll be very curious to see how that plays out at the appellate level and, of course, what the Supreme Court has to say about a very pressing issue right now. But to refocus on an issue you talk about and the justice system.
they're just, it was all, they've all been cheated. It's all fucking grievance. Oh, he was cheated. The jury was given weird instructions. Weird according to whom? Anyway, did you know there was a smooth transition of power between the last president and the current president? It's going to be, it's what this Trump guy that we've been seeing a little bit more of, Burgum, is going to say. We got 3 clips here.
Has a right to challenge the election. Donald Trump.
I believe this is from today, from Press the Meat.
Challenge the election results. He had a right to do that. And yet Hillary Clinton and Al Gore conceded. Donald Trump has yet to concede. Is that not undemocratic, particularly for someone who's running to be the leader of this country and the free world again?
Donald Trump, at the end of his term on January 20th, left the White House. We had a smooth transition, and I think it's fair.
January 6th wasn't exactly a smooth transition, Governor.
Well, I think we have to say that there was a smooth transition, and everybody on both parties is going to challenge elections if they don't.
I think we have to say there was a smooth transition. I mean, we have to say. I don't know what to tell you.
We don't have one election in America. There's over 3,100 counties, and each of those counties sometimes have different rules. And in 2020, of course, with COVID, there was a myriad set of new rules and regulations that we had never seen before. And so, of course, I think going into 2024, I think both parties are going to be very focused on it. And I think this is the idea that this is the threat to democracy. As a governor in North Dakota today, I've been living under what I call the Biden dictatorship because of all the rules and regulations. Now, thank goodness for this Supreme Court. That came out on Friday with the Chevron ruling, because maybe now we can put a stop to agencies actually creating laws that don't come from Congress.
Let me ask you about.
This guy didn't know how many counties there are. There's over 30,000 counties. This guy's number was incorrect, if you could imagine that. Don't worry, though. He's going to keep talking. I don't know why. This is a bad guy to put on TV. Here he is refusing to agree to accept the election results.
Governor, can you say, as someone who is on the short list to be Trump's VP nominee, can you commit here and now today to accepting the election results?
Well, listen, these hypothetical questions that keep coming up imply that somehow that in every one of our 3,100 counties in America.
Yeah, 31,000. There's probably 3,100 counties in fucking California.
That everything is going to go perfectly. I've never commented on a bill before it reached my desk. I'm not going to comment on an election before it happens.
You won't commit to accepting the election results, Governor?
I will commit to, if they're free and fair, of course. But this hypothetical question that everyone keeps asking, the Democrats won't accept it if they think if there are irregularities in the fall. Ask Joe Biden if he would accept it if he thought it wasn't free and fair. If he thought there was issues, would he accept it? So the premise that only one party gets asked this question is just a false premise.
Well, again, the Democrats.
That's not a false. No. That's not a false. The premise that only one part. Wait, what do you? That's not. Whatever, dude.
Results, and no Democrat has refused to concede who is running for office. Again, just one more time, does that not undermine the democracy, people's faith in our democracy, to caveat it in the way that you have? Again, election officials have said the last election was the safest in U.S. history.
What undermines the faith in democracy, and we've seen in the polls, people trust President Trump more than Biden on democracy right now.
Yeah.
And the Democrat Party.
Wait, which polls? What do you mean trust him more on democracy?
When we ended up
what question was that?
Ticket on the Democrat side, that was this grand devil's bargain of everybody drop out, we're going with these two. Then
a grand devil's bargain. Everybody drop out, we're going with these two. We got one more. This guy's fucking trying to be slippery, but he's pretty easy to catch if you are paying attention.
But Governor, let me just ask you about the debate and a little bit more of what we saw. By one count, Donald Trump made more than 30 false claims during that debate. I want to play something you told my colleague Chuck Todd on this broadcast last year. Take a look.
You ever lied in politics?
No.
That you know of? You don't believe you've ever lied?
No.
You feel like you've always told the truth as you understood it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I was raised, and that's how I've gone forward.
As someone who is on Donald Trump's short list to be his vice presidential nominee, do you think he should stop saying things that are not true?
I think that the whole manufactured thing this morning of that Donald Trump has said something that he hasn't said before. I mean, everything.
No, these are old lies. Actually, that's fine. He's been telling this. He's been fucking. Oh, it's fine if that person lies. They just lie all the time. Actually.
He said on Thursday night, he's been saying before. I mean, so this isn't.
But this is not manufactured.
This is not news.
But this is not manufactured, Governor. I mean, just to say a few, he said that Democrats want to kill infants after birth. That's not true. He again lied about widespread fraud. Not true. He lied about its comments after Charlottesville. Should he be truthful with the American people if he wants to lead this country? Well, especially given what you just said, that you never lie. That's your standard, Governor.
Well, I think you bring up an important issue, because I think one of the reasons why the Democrats are in complete disarray, it's not just Joe Biden's performance, but they were running on something, which is that Donald Trump, they were concerned about Republicans' position on life. And Donald Trump was very clear. He will not support a federal abortion ban. He was super clear on that during the debate. And when he challenged Joe Biden and said, will you agree to any restrictions? The moderators asked Joe Biden, will you agree to any restrictions, in the last day of the 9th month? Yeah. And Joe Biden would not commit to that. So the marker's been set. The Democrats have the extreme position. And like President Trump, I believe this belongs back at the states, and that's where it should stay.
Well, and of course,
state of North Dakota not sending their best governors, that's for sure. Dude's trying to be slippery. Problem is the fucking host of Press the Meat maybe wasn't quite ready for that. Here's Waters, Jesse Waters, the fucking most annoying person on Fox right now. He's going to do what I've called here, he's going to do a great replacement into DEI panic, special move for everyone here. He's going to do it all in less than a minute, too.
There's a lot at stake. Plus, the progressive movement, they are this close to locking this thing in. They have opened the borders. They've changed the entire culture of this country. If you look at the cities, it's almost over. If they can drag him across the finish line and install Kamala, we have a DEI presidency that they can celebrate for the rest of the administration. That's all they need to get to. It's just 90 minutes. It's all it takes.
Yep. All right. Just the great replacement theory into a DEI gymnastic move here. Up next, we got J.D. Vance. Haven't heard much from him lately. Did you know that he's really good at debating his wife? Like, so if he gets the nomination for the vice president, he'd be good at debating because he's wins debates with his wife all the time. That's a little weird, but let's see if it's as awkward as it seems.
The first test would be obviously accepting the speech at the RNC, that's coming up real fast. And then the next step would be debating the vice president, Kamala Harris. How would you debate her?
Well, I have to debate this litigator all the time,
exactly.
So I think I do okay there.
His wife's a lawyer?
Again, I just think people in politics, they don't give the American people enough credit. Mm-hmm. I just think that if you speak from the heart, you don't do the talking points, you try to talk about substance, then people respond to it.
I don't know. JD Vance isn't going to get picked. JD Vance is too weird. I don't think most people like JD Vance. I don't think he's the pick. I don't know who it's going to be. It's going to maybe Carrie Lake. Up next, we got Liz Warren talking, I believe, about Project 2025.
The 2-year anniversary of the Dobbs decision. Since that ruling, 21 states now ban or restrict abortions earlier in pregnancy than the standard set by Roe. Even if Joe Biden is reelected, is this really going to change?
Yes, it will change. We need three things. We need access to abortion, we need access to contraception, and we need access to IVF. The Republicans have blocked all three. They have laid out their plan to say they're not going to permit women to have those three and to have access to them. The Democrats are fully on board. If we have the trifecta, the House, the Senate, and the White House, then we are going to make Roe versus
very unlikely
law of the land again. And with Joe Biden in the presidency rather than Donald Trump, we will have as much protection for women as humanly possible. Understand this. I want to say this as clearly as I can. If Donald Trump is elected to the presidency, he and the extremist Republicans are coming after abortion, contraception, and IVF in every single state in this country. Not just the red states, not just the purple states, every state in this country. They've laid out their blueprint, and they're coming.
She's talking about Project 2025. I don't know if she knows that's what she's talking about, but that's what she's talking about. The problem with it, though, is talking about it makes you sound like a conspiracy theorist. Remember, like Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030? Well, some of the ways that some of the people talk about Project 2025 sounds like that. But Project 2025 is on the record. It's from the Heritage Foundation. You could go check it out, actually. It's Stuff They Don't Want You to Know did a really good podcast about it this week, too. Did you know that Representative Jamal Bowman said a swear at a campaign rally, everybody? Did you know that?
Scott, I wanted to play the Jamal Bowman soundbite for a family member last night. I had to remove my 4-year-old daughter from the room because she could not hear this congressman.
Because people don't want to hear bullshit. They don't want to hear it. They want. He's sort of a. He's just a bullshit artist. It's like, it's crazy.
This is, Decoding Fox News contrasted with clips like, it's, people swear like that. I think most people are past the idea that it's even a big deal that people, politicians, whoever, swears. I don't think many people are too terribly concerned about that. According to the people at Fox, nobody died from COVID. That's good. Docket's moving along, progressing nicely this evening.
Sandra?
I think there's parents all over the country who heard him in that new interview reverse course on whether or not the schools need to be shut. And they're having a hard time with that. I mean, for people like myself, my son was going into his kindergarten year that fall of August 2020 when he said, you better think twice about putting kids in school. When, as Dr. Rand Paul said today on our air, kids, we know, at that time we knew that there was almost 0% chance of death with children. And that's tough to hear him reverse course and say, maybe they should have been in school.
Lock him up, I said. Hey, you know what? Who was it? Sotomayor, who said 100 kids have died from the COVID? And that was a Supreme Court justice who didn't pay the price.
I give him the benefit of the doubt.
Wait, what?
Releasing a
So this is a list from the CDC of people by age group who died from COVID-19 in the United States. Here's a zoom. They stopped collecting data, it looks like, in late June 2023. So age group 0 to 4, 776. Age group 5 to 18, 1,071, which is a total of 1,847. So that's 1,847 children in the United States who died of COVID-19. So this article was dated December 2022. Since the spring of 2020, Education Week documented 1,308 active and retired educators who succumbed to the virus. Among the total, 451 were active teachers, school staff members, including secretaries, food service workers, bus drivers, and others, comprised the second biggest group of deaths at 332. So children could carry the virus and spread it, including to adults who could die from it.
Yep. Decoding Fox News is been doing really good work. Okay, up next, here's GOP Representative Scott Perry. I don't know where he represents, but he is, wouldn't you know it, fucking afraid to go outside. I hate it when I get afraid to go outside. I wonder where he's afraid to go outside. I bet it's going to be cities. But he's going to be talking about how terrifying cities are. People hate cities.
We don't want to be afraid to go out of our homes at night or in the day in our own communities. And many Americans tell me they're afraid. A lady that served me lunch today told me she's afraid to live in her own country. It is ridiculous, which is why the deportation issues of these animals and these is so popular.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Congressman.
Whoa. Animals. That's pretty strong language. Also, like, to the extent that crime is on the uprise, it's mostly native-born citizens doing it. The numbers have always been such that, like, that you're just like per 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever new immigrants are committing less crimes. As well, you'd think that they generally, would commit less crimes. They feel like even if they were inclined to commit crimes, probably feel like they're under the microscope a little more than other people. They feel like they're more likely to get caught, probably. It isn't just that it's not like, oh, they're more other immigrants are just us that just lived somewhere else before. But they are probably going to be a little more cautious. I know I would be in another country. Being the only liberal person on the 5 must be fucking infuriating. I guess they have a different one this time. Usually it's, I forget her name. She's pretty good, but they have a different guy this time.
And it's a very heinous crime. But I think that we also, too, in this country, we believe in nuance and bright lines. And I think there's a clear bright line between these two individuals that you're watching on your screen and an infant that crosses the border with their mother, who, yes, according to the law that Judge Janine mentioned, would be considered an illegal alien. But they did not make the choice to cross. They crossed with their family, and now all they want to do is assimilate.
We're not talking about dreamers. We're talking about illegals.
No, but yes,
we're
but
not talking about dreamers
hold on, I did not interrupt you. According to, I'm not changing the subject. I am not changing the subject, and I did not interrupt you. According to the law that you quoted, an infant that crosses the border would be deemed an illegal alien. Yes, they would. It doesn't have an age. It does not have an age differential there.
That's not in this statute.
It does not have an age differential. It doesn't have an age differential. It doesn't. Exactly.
Know. You're pivoting.
I'm not pivoting. I'm telling you exactly what's on that paper you just read. So, like I was,
I'm telling you the thing that you're supposed to be reading it.
I can clearly see there's not an age differential on there. So, like I was saying, if we want to have a conversation about how we fix this problem, one, those guys should be behind bars. Maybe the death penalty if the DA makes that decision. But we also need to be courageous as a country, whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, to say what that DA said at the beginning of this segment. Our immigration system is broken, and Democrats can't fix it alone, and neither can Republicans.
Babies aren't killing women.
But that's exactly the point that I'm making.
You're letting everyone in.
That's exactly the point I'm making. So if we're going to be courageous, let's fix it.
We're not talking about babies. That's the point. We're talking about murderous criminals who are let in because you're using the baby argument as a barrier. Like, let's have a conversation. We're not compassionate enough.
That's not what I said. I said there's a bright light and nuance to every conversation, and there's one to this one as well.
We understand nuance.
And clearly you don't.
No, it's the nuance that brought us to this place. Exactly. It was nuance that got us to, hey, everybody should come over.
Is why we don't have new immigration laws, and we're having this conversation. We have a broken immigration system.
Well, fucking broke it. Everybody knows.
No, it's been broken for decades.
He broke it.
I like that guy. That guy's like, no. He's like, I'm telling you what's on the piece of paper in front of you, which is pretty fucking. That's pretty bold. I don't know how long that guy's gonna last on the 5. He's good though. Good for him. Good for him. Did you know Congress actually is going to save Steve Bannon? That's what I guess the Speaker of the House here, Mike Johnson, I guess he believes that the Congress is going to help Steve Bannon. How? They're going to write a letter.
Mr. Speaker, I understand there might be a change in position regarding how the House and their stance on the January 6th committee, and it might be regarding Steve Bannon, and it may have a big impact on his contempt case. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, we're working on filing an amicus brief in his appellate work there in his case, because the January 6th committee was, we think, wrongfully constituted. We think the work was tainted. We think that they may have very well covered up evidence and maybe even more nefarious activities. We've been investigating the committee itself. We disagree.
Yeah, but who's going to investigate you investigating the committee?
All that together, we think it violated House rules, and so we'll be expressing that to the court, and I think it will help Steve Bannon in his appeal.
His appeal? Wait, this is a contempt. The appeal, none of this is even if he wins on appeal, he'll still do the 4 months. All these things take fucking time. This guy's doing probably 4 months in like a low security, like Fed place too. It's not like the guy's going to be like doing hard labor and shit. They might ask him to do dishes or something. Up next, we got Congressman Dean Phillips went on the Mehdi Hassan show, and we could watch the whole thing, but we're not gonna.
So this bill you voted for, most Democrats, didn't vote for this bill. It's so broad. Even if we were to agree with you that they're outside their purview, and they would say they're not, it didn't just go after ICC officials, but also, quote, the immediate family members of ICC officials. That is mob-like behavior, is it not, to go after family members?
And by the way, 95% of what we vote on in Congress has elements that we find distasteful.
But you voted for
that's
it.
Of course, that's our job
and
in
you
Congress.
Stand by
we have a choice. I stand by that vote, of course.
So you
but
stand.
Also,
hold on. You stand by putting sanctions on ICC Chief Prosecutor Karim Khan's 2 adult sons. What did they do?
The sins of our fathers.
What I stand by is a vote. First of all, we have votes in Congress that we know will not end up going anywhere. We have votes that we know will probably be signed into law. They have very different consequences.
So you voted for this one because you don't think it'll be signed into law?
Well, first, no, I voted for this as a message because I do think it's a principle.
A message to ICC Chief Prosecutor Karim Khan's 2 sons. What did they do wrong?
Now, you know that's not what my intent was. And by the way, if you look at everything...
With respect, Congressman, it doesn't matter what your intent is.
Then look,
it matters what you voted for. You voted for a very
mafiosi bill. It matters what you did, yeah. My intent was to, I don't know, look good.
Bill. No,
you don't think going after the children of a prosecutor
they're not going after
Trump-like,
Matty, they're not going after the
What does
children.
it mean to put sanctions on the children of the prosecutor?
My point is, but that's not a mafioso bill. By the way, if that is...
Picking on the family members of someone?
Matty,
that's the kind of thing Donald Trump does to Congressman, not Dean Phillips.
You're an educated man. You know how the Congress works. You know how bills operate.
Just because I know how it works doesn't mean I agree with it.
Oh, shit, dude. They fucking just passed a bill that's like, we're going to put sanctions on the International Criminal Court prosecutor. Oh, and their fucking family. Mehdi Hassan is correct. That is fucking mob-like behavior. Everybody, won't someone think of the American tax people? Have you thought about the American tax people lately? I sure haven't. But here's Marjorie the Gathering. We're going to learn about the American tax people.
In Tanzania, USAID helped access $7.8 million in private sector financing for private clinics. This investment resulted in 35% increase in HIV testing and over 10,000 patients tested and 100% of positive patients linked to care. In Nigeria, USAID engaged in private pharmacies to provide HIV treatment. Meanwhile, the fentanyl drug crisis continues to rage across America, but we continue to fund USAID with billions of dollars to address AIDS and other diseases all over the world. We should be caring about Americans, and we should be funding the treatment for Americans here at home.
Okay, propose that bill.
Weapon of mass destruction that is murdering Americans every single day. The American tax people are funding this, and the American tax people want their problems solved. They want to...
I know she just misspoke and whatever, but my God, the American tax people. That's the IRS, or I don't know, maybe that's the name of like some fucking shady tax firm, the American tax people. Here's Marjorie the Gathering. She made a big mistake here, it looks like. She decided to go on Australian TV. Our experience watching Australian TV here has been that it's not a great place for American politicians to go, generally.
And lie and tried to pervert the truth. He told the truth, and we appreciate him for that.
And if it doesn't go your way, if Biden wins, will you accept the result?
Again, what does this have to do with Julian Assange? Seriously,
it's the
really,
natural
that's what we're
extension of the
supposed to
question
be
about
talking.
truth. And why would I?
What network is this?
What
is this ABC in Australia? Is she getting any marching orders from the Democrat Party? I mean, is this what you decided to come up with today?
You're a prominent figure in US politics. The first debate is tomorrow. The result of the election is on the minds not just of Americans but of the whole world. So it's a natural point of curiosity. But I understand that we've reached the end of the questions that you want to answer. Thank you for talking to us about it and for joining the program.
We have a certain way about that. We've reached the end of the part where you want to answer the questions, so we got to go. I think that's a great, good job. Good job. So we've been following this guy a little bit. He's the Oklahoma State Superintendent of Schools. His name is Ryan Walters, or is it Ryan? Yeah, Ryan Walters, and he sure is something. He is a full-on Christian nationalist who seems to believe that there's just not enough Jesus in fucking stuffed crust pizza and your schools.
Important announcement today regarding the Bible and the Ten Commandments. My staff has been looking at Oklahoma statute. We've been looking at Oklahoma academic standards. And it's crystal clear to us that in the Oklahoma academic standards, under Title 70, multiple occasions, the Bible is a necessary historical document to teach our kids about the history of this country.
Wait, what? No, this is wrong.
Understanding of Western civilization, to have an understanding of the basis of our legal system.
But there's probably like in high school, the religion comes up in like history class and stuff. Like there are classes on comparative religion that you can take. Like that's not what he wants, though, right?
Bible, one of the most foundational documents used for the Constitution and the birth of our country. We also find major points in history that refer to the Bible, that reference the Bible. We see multiple figures, whether we're talking about the Federalist Papers, constitutional conventional arguments.
Oklahoma. It's Pride Month, so it's now Oklahoma.
Impetus for the civil rights movement, and tie many of those arguments back to the Bible. It is essential that our kids have an understanding of the Bible and its historical context. So we will be issuing a memo today that every school district will adhere to, which is that every teacher, every classroom in the state will have a Bible in the classroom, and we'll be teaching from the Bible in the classroom.
Yeah, the teachers are just going to refuse.
To ensure that this historical understanding
People are just going to refuse.
is there for every student in the state of Oklahoma.
And what are you going to do?
In accordance
Arrest them
with
all?
our academic
Probably, yeah.
standards and state law.
I think most people are going to refuse. It's not like most of the teachers are probably Christian, but they're going to refuse because they're like, well, this isn't really my job here. Like, what's the science or the fucking math? You're like, oh, we're doing algebra, but also, I guess we're teaching you the Bible? Like, that just doesn't make sense, like, in so many ways. That guy's a giant piece of shit. I think they're probably going to vote him out. I mean, the person they put him in place, the person they put in his place isn't going to be like, you know, a lib or whatever, but I think they're going to vote him out because, like, some of the stuff he's doing is crazy town. And I don't think most people like it. Now, we've been covering the goings on in the Republican Party in Maricopa County to some extent. We've mostly seen them in our show Public Comment, where we watch local government meetings. We mostly have seen it spill over into the meetings with the members of the Republican Central Committee for Maricopa County, going up there and airing their dirty laundry and asking the Board of Supervisors for the county to step in their disputes. Well, This is her name is Shelby Bush, and she is second in command for the Maricopa County GOP Central Committee.
But let's pretend that this gentleman over here was running for county recorder, and he's a good Christian man that believes what we believe. Well, we can work with that, right? We can. That's unity. That's saying, hey, we're going to shake hands. And we're going to agree that we're going to run a good Christian foundation campaign, and we're going to treat each other well, and we're going to get through this together, right? That's unity. But if Stephen Richer walked in this room, I would lynch him. I don't unify with people who don't believe in the principles we believe in and the American cause that founded this country. And so,
but he's just somebody in the Republican Central Committee you don't like. You don't got to be all that, lady. Also, like, you could just use different words, like shoot him, stab him, punch him in the face. Like, you could have said many other things.
Make that clear when we talk about what it means to unify.
Oh yeah, well thanks. You're the fucking unifier. You're like, I am going to lynch actually somebody who's a member of this committee. Like, that word it's got so much baggage too. Like, why? Just say shoot him and you won't, like, nobody's going to care that much. But also don't say that either. There's no need to do that. No need to do any of that. Just to fucking just disagree with them. Unity. Use some unity. Up next, this is a pretty good political ad. Usually political ads are, not great, but this is a pretty good political ad.
I'll be quick.
That's not what she wanted to hear.
ID, please.
You need an ID to buy condoms now?
It's a new legislation passed by Republicans in Congress after they voted against the Right to Contraception Act.
Get out of here.
I don't make the rules. Will these be used with a spouse?
No.
Are you in a committed monogamous relationship?
We haven't really had the talk yet.
Is this heterosexual copulation?
Yes. Does that matter?
Do you like Taylor Swift?
I mean, her Eras tour was lit.
I'm sorry. You're not eligible to buy the condoms. Do you still want to buy the rose?
Do you still want the fucking flower? Sometimes I think it's a pretty effective ad. I think that younger people are going to respond to ads like that. Up next, I hadn't heard the name Reggie Jackson in a very long time, and it came across my feeds. And I don't usually play stuff from Fox Sports, MLB, but it seems like Reggie Jackson maybe should run for fucking president. I don't know. He's old enough, right?
Reggie, the baton has been passed for over a century here. We've been talking earlier about if it wasn't for the Willie Mays, the Jackie Robinson, the Reggie Jacksons, the three of us wouldn't have an opportunity to play. How emotional is it for you to come back to a play that you played with one of the greatest teams around?
Alex, when people ask me a question like that, it's like coming back here is not easy. The racism that I played here, when I played here, the difficulty of going through different places where we traveled. Fortunately, I had a manager and I had players on the team that helped me get through it. But I wouldn't wish it on anybody. People said to me today, I spoke, and they said, you think you're a better person? You think you won when you played here in Concord? I said, I would never want to do it again. I walked into restaurants and they would point at me and said, can't eat here.
Whoa.
I would go to a hotel and they say, then can't stay here. We went to Charlie Finley's country club for a welcome home dinner and they pointed me out with the N-word. He can't come in here. Finley marched the whole team out. Finally, they let me in there. He said, we're going to go to the diner and eat hamburgers. We'll go where we're wanted. Fortunately, I had a manager, Johnny McNamara, that if I couldn't eat in the place, nobody would eat. We'd get food to travel. If I couldn't stay in a hotel, they'd drive to the next hotel and find a place where I could stay. Had it not been for Raleigh Fingers, Johnny McNamara, Dave Duncan, Joe and Sharon Rudy, I slept on their couch 3-4 nights a week for about a month and a half. Finally, they were threatened that they would burn our apartment complex down unless I got out. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. The year I came here, Bull Connor was the sheriff the year before. And they took minor league baseball out of here because in 1963, the Klan murdered 4 black girls, children, in 11, 12, 14 years old at a church here and never got indicted. They were from the Klan. Life magazine did a story on them like they were being honored. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. At the same time, had it not been for my white friends, had it not been for a white manager, and Rudy, Fingers, and Duncan, and Lee Myers, I would have never made it. I was too physically violent. I was ready to physically fight I'd have got killed here because I'd have beat someone's ass. You'd have saw me in an oak tree somewhere.
He's like, it's a good thing my friends were there to fucking calm me down because I was, I know how to handle this particular thing.
I can't even imagine. It's awful you had to go through that, but appreciate you sharing the rawness and the honesty of it with our audience. I mean, really, we love.
Oh, I thought that fucking dude on the left was going to go, but it made you the man you are today, and he didn't do that. So shout out to him for not doing that because he just explained to you that it sucked.
Reg. Yeah, thank you.
Quick history lesson right there.
That's a great history lesson. Reggie Jackson telling us all about it, preaching. Wow, that's unbelievable. The great Reggie Jackson, the Hall of Famer, joining us here, and we've got more.
Yeah, it sounds like he's fucking. I don't think his team fucking stood up for him. I mean, he would have fucking, sounds like he would have probably been fine to, no, I mean, he would have knocked some skulls or whatever, but he would have probably had some problems. And one of the things, like, sports is like on this kind of stuff, historically, sports has just been ahead. It's been ahead of stuff. The NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball have just generally been ahead of the rest of society on this stuff. I don't know if that's always going to be the case, but it seems like that's generally been the case. Up next is, I guess, you know what I love to do? I love to go to Hawaii and then just have a really bad time. And that's what we're going to see here. I just called this one, Enjoy Your Vacation, Lady.
I'm sorry, but I paid to be a customer at a hotel where I thought you believed that women were real, that because you put on makeup, because you're wearing high heels, because you have a Barbie outfit on, that you don't think this is degrading? This is misogyny. And we have a hotel. If you give me back my money right now, I will leave the hotel. Okay, let's go take care of it. But I'm not going to have my children come down from the 30th floor and see what's happening here.
Let's go take care of your reservation right now.
Yeah, no, this is completely degrading.
Okay, let's go take care of that right now.
He's like, get out of my hotel. This is not very, these are not aloha vibes.
Let's go take care of your reservation and have you check out.
Are you in the hotel? Are you dressed up? Are you a man? Are you a man pretending to be a woman?
I'm not pretending to be anything.
What do you think about my son, who might think that he can put on makeup and put on fancy clothing and high heels?
Oh, she's telling what's fucking, nope, there you go. That's exactly it. She's worried that, that her son might see a drag queen and be like, oh shit, looks fun.
And have his penis cut off. And take estrogen so he can throw fake boobs like those. Yeah, this is so degrading. I want to hear from the police, Janet. I want to know why.
She doesn't know the difference between, like, that's just drag queen. It's all about the fashion, baby. It's just the fashion.
$3,000. This is dressed up like women. This is degrading. Oh, you're smiling.
I am.
Tell me what your name is, sir.
Sorry, Mary Beth.
Tell me why you think it's okay to put on a clown.
Tell me your name. I looked at the rest of that. Oh, she works for fucking University of California, Davis, too. Fucking wonderful. She was actually detained because what I could gather about that is she's like actually refused to leave the hotel after they asked her to leave, and that you can't do that. We got two more. This next one is something. Everybody, the smartest man in the world, the most snappiest dresser, and just the person who's the most fun. Elon Musk.
Jump again.
They're making fun of him. Jump again.
Jump very high. It was good. Thanks.
They're fucking trolling him. Shirts on backwards.
Jump again. Jump again.
Oh, I'm a big boy now.
Jump very high. It was good. Thanks.
I had no idea I don't know for sure they were making fun of him, but I think they were making fun of him. I'm guessing they were making fun of him. We got one more before we go into like the post game or whatever, although this week's show will be a freebie for everybody, so everybody will get the members feed if they're inclined. Here is, we watch Impact Theory a lot on the Intellectual Dollar Tree. It's that guy Tom Bilyeu, whose fucking podcast set looks like a fucking 14-year-old boy just had an unlimited budget and people to hang stuff on the wall for him. This is RFK Jr. on Tom Bilyeu's show. We're not watching this Wednesday.
And, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I would characterize as kind of borderline conspiracy theories. Stuff about, you know, I have no idea whether UFOs exist. right? I don't have any idea. I just don't have any.
I mean, it's just they do. There's people see stuff in the sky all the time that they can't explain. Nobody disputes that.
Information on them, but I don't think automatically that we shouldn't be hearing about
You only have 20 more seconds.
Right. Or whether 9/11 whether there was something screwy about that. I think we should.
I mean, there was something screwy. 9/11. I mean, screwy is a weird way to say it, but yeah, it was out of the ordinary, I would say.
Even on the election, issues, it's verboten to say that, the election was fixed. Well,
it's verboten, yet here you are on a very popular, for some reason, podcast saying that, actually. It's not verboten. It's just people, it's the facts don't bear it out, and you get fact-checked and sometimes told to go fuck yourself, depending on what kind of platform you've gone on and said that kind of stuff. Shout out to Howie Mandel's producer, who also happens to be his daughter, but more importantly, she's his producer. She did a very good job when RFK Jr. was on the Howie Mandel show. She did a fabulous job. I don't think he had any idea that she was going to do such a good job. I emailed her, tried to get her on to talk about it. She didn't email me back. She's too famous. Anyway, that's been the podcast part of the show. Podcast listeners, though, you can go to patreon.com/echoplex or eplex.store. You can find the whole show, the rest of the show, the post game and whatnot there too. And I have some good stuff for the post game. We have more about Bannon. Well, we were going to do a little Schadenfreude about Bannon. There's an animated sitcom produced by the fucking weirdest Twitter fucking people. I haven't watched it yet, but other people say the trailer for it is wild. Jesus fixed a guy's iPod. Kevin Sorbo makes an appearance on the Land of Misfit Anchors on News Nation, and we will find out via Dr. Phil who Salty Cracker is. I'll be back with a drink. This is Boomers by Periscope.